minutes ago, but I am here and just a little late, but I am thrilled that you're here this morning. And so if you're out there, give me a wave, tell me hi, let me know you're there. Okay, so I like to dance. I love to dance. I think of Tina Turner when I think of dancing, and I would almost say I am your private dancer. But what I mean about that is you want me dancing in private. If I had been any good, I would have been a dancer. So I totally get this ebb and flow thing, this natural flow, this feeling of floating on air or just being in the zone and everything. But look, I'm talking about flow in a different vein. And what we're talking about today is an awareness of what's natural and in alignment with who we are, our energy, our it's understanding when your mind and your body and your emotions are all in sync with each other. They're all going together. And what's so important about that is we use that as our jumping off point in knowing if something is right for us to do, if it's the right thing to do. And I'm not talking about just feeling good because we can't always go on our feelings. That's why I said it's about our when our mind and our emotions and our body are all in sync with each other. And so we also use it as our motivation. It's that thing that makes us want to wake up in the morning to get moving in the morning, to get going in the morning. So that's the other thing that I wanna say. So, let me make sure everything is good here, and so you'll see me checking and making sure we're on point, but also we wanna use this ebb and flow, this dance of life, this harmony. We wanna use it also as our gauge of the value of if this is something that we wanna do. So, is it something we enjoy? And so I have a perfect example for you. Have you ever gone for a job or been in a particular job and wonder this other opportunity jumps at you or comes up for you and you wonder, should you take it? Is this the right move for you? So that's where when you're in perfect harmony, when you are naturally in your flow, this is the gauge for you. So ask yourself, do I enjoy what I'm doing right now? Is this next era that I'm getting ready to jump into, is this something that I enjoy? Is this where I wanna be? Is this an area that I wanna jump off into? And then you ask yourself, you look at it, well, there's more money here, and I'll get to move up in the chain. But ask yourself, is that important for you right now? Is getting more money something that drive your decision? Is that important? Are you struggling where you are now and you need to jump into this new area because you need the money? Or is your peace of mind, your sanity, your less stress more important for you now? Is moving forward something important for you now? And then the commitment. Can you make that commitment? At this point in your life, is taking care of family, is being there for family, your aging parent, your young kids, your husband and supporting him, is being there for them more important now? Or is seeking the things that this job can give you if that's what's important for you now? So you have to use this time of knowing who you are, of being in total sync as your gauge for where you're to move at this point in your life. Have you ever wanted to get things done, but you found yourself not following through on things again and again? It just didn't feel right, or you just couldn't make it stick. Maybe you're not in natural harmony with who you are. It just didn't feel natural, or As I say, you just weren't feeling it. And I'm not saying you go totally on your feelings, but you do let that just be part of your gauge. And I get it. We're supposed to push ourselves. We're supposed to step outside of our comfort zone, and we're supposed to push beyond the resistance. But you have to listen to yourself too. So I want you to hold on to that thought, and we'll pick up this dance in a couple of. Hey, so welcome back to Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle live, where moms and find themselves mid-career and solopreneurs find tangible ways to enjoy the success of life without the sacrifice. I'm live Mondays at 0600 a.m. and you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And I'm here to give you your wake up call. So make sure you follow me on your platform of choice so you don't miss a single episode. Hey, I am Michelle O'Neill, your boundary strategist and life management coach. And I love a great conversation. Why do you think I'm here this early in the morning? Because I want to talk with you. So why don't you grab a cup of coffee, tea, your warm beverage of choice, and settle in so we can jump right into today's mastery moment. So, are you ready to start dancing? Because it's all about the dance of life. So today we're gonna have a waltz because a waltz. I can't even talk. WALTZ, that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because I have 3 steps for you. We're going to talk about letting go of your perceived norm. And then we're going to talk about listening to yourself and to step back and listen harder. So let me know that you're here. Tell me who you are, who's watching, where you're watching from. And I want to know if this is your first time being on Monday Mastery Moments. If it is, say newbie, I want to know that you're a newbie. So tell me, what is your closet gifting? What is something that is just so natural for you? And then if you're not watching me live, make sure you tell me hashtag replay so that I can make sure that I follow you through and answer any questions that you have. If you're listening on the podcast, just let me know that this is your first time, and I can't wait to reach out to you all as well. So let's talk about our perceived norm. Let me get that ready for you. So, we're going to talk about letting go of that perceived norm this morning. Just because it's something that you always done doesn't mean that it has to be done that way. Doesn't mean that you can't change it or that it has to continue to stay that way. I know you've heard that before, and I have a perfect example. So, yesterday I was cooking bacon. I didn't have to. I wanted to cook breakfast and I was cooking bacon. So yes, this girl loves pork. But when I had to cook the bacon, I hadn't taken it out the freezer. And I know that I had the microwave and I could zap it real quick and defrost it. But when you defrost something in the microwave, it still cooks a little bit around the edges. And I didn't want to fully start cooking the bacon because I wasn't going to use the whole pound. I only wanted a few slices. Well, I started thinking about how can I thaw this out? I only have a few minutes. How could I thaw this out without cooking it? And I remembered even though this is the new way to do it, and this is the way I've been doing it for a while, it wasn't what felt right for me. I didn't want to do it. And so I started thinking, and I remembered something that my mom used to do. And so I didn't do the norm of sticking it in the microwave. What I did is I set that whole pack in some cool water so that it could naturally unthaw and I could pull off the pieces that I wanted. I didn't do my perceived norm of sticking it in the microwave so that I could just pull it off and some of it would already be cooked. I did something different. I didn't do my perceived norm. So the first rule that we have today is let go of your perceived norm. The things that you normally that you have done because it's something that you learned. I'm not saying the thing that's natural for you because that's where we want to get to. Doing things that are natural for you, that are right for you. Because I want you to understand that there is um, a normal way of doing things. Everything has its own way of, let's look at seasons, okay? So there is a natural flow to the seasons of life. There's a natural way for the trees to go through. Have you ever planted something that is annual and then you come back and there's nothing there? It died. And you're like, well, I have to plant these tulips again, or I have to, well, tulips you do, but I have to plant these annuals again. But you don't, because some way, somehow, every year, they always come back because there's a natural flow to their lifespan. There's a natural thing that was created that happens within the seed that even though it dies, and it doesn't really die, it lays dormant for a season, it will come back. And so that's what I'm talking about. We want to find that natural progression of our life, of our way of being. And we want to tap into that. So the first rule I said is letting go of those perceived norms. And I want you to finish these sentences for me. Just because this how has always been done. What's that? Go ahead and put it in the comments. Finish that sentence for me. Isn't the way it always has to be. So, what's right for others? Can you finish that one for me? I'm not even going to finish it for you. I want to know what's right for others. Finish that one for me. Or how about this one? And I remember my mom saying that if they jump off a cliff, go ahead and finish that one off for me too. So we really are different. I want you to understand that we really are different, that there are many similarities. Absolutely. There are things, that's how we click with others and we feel that we're apart because there are similarities. But when we strip those similarities away, there are things that are just you, things that nobody else can bring to the table because your experiences, your thought patterns, the people who are in your life are different from the next person. And those are the things that you draw on to make you different. And that starts formulating what's natural for you, who you are, what's in harmony with the person that you've become. And that's what we want to draw on. So, what things are you holding on just because it's the way that it's always been? What things can you change? What things that you're pulling in because it's what mom said or what grandma said? You know, I remember that New Year's that there's certain foods that you were supposed to have. Black eyed peas for luck, greens for money. Why are you holding on to that tradition? Is it because it reminds you of those people, then absolutely hold on to it. But if you don't know why you're doing it, or you're doing it because it's always been done, and you don't even like black eyed peas in the first place, why are you holding on to it? So start recognizing the things that are uniquely you. Start creating the things that are you. The new traditions that you can start holding on, the new things that you're finding out about yourself, and start incorporating those into your decisions that help you make those decisions. Pay attention to how things affect you emotionally and mentally and physically. You'll know if it's right for you. If it doesn't feel good, then maybe that's something that you should reevaluate. If it gives you stress, if it frustrates you, then maybe that's something that you shouldn't be doing. Or you find a new way to do it, or a new thing to do. I just want you to get to the point that we have to let go of those perceived norms and open up, being open to seeing what's new for us. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is it from you, or is it from others? And is this something that you want to bring into your norm? I want you to weed out those things that are you, and those things that are just because. I want you to understand the difference. And I want you to hold on to that wheat. I want you to hold on to the things that are that bring value to your life, and let go of those things that you're just holding on to because it's something you always used to do. And so with that, we start listening to ourselves. I want you to listen to yourself. One of the first places that we can easily see this is in our bodies and with food. And I use this example because I'm a foodie, and everything seems to tie back into food. So this is what's natural for me. This is something that I can pull examples from day in and day out, because I think, live, and breathe food. I know that we're not talking about order right now, but I'm going to bring it back to that. But this is an example that would help me pull it all together for you. So, listening to yourself, we really see this when our bodies start dealing with food. You know, you always say your stomach growling. So, listen to that. Listen to it. There's a workshop that I used to be in when I wanted to get my weight under, you know, get my weight down. And it was called Way Down Workshop. And I know the person that ran this is no longer alive. But this workshop really taught me something above all else, and it's how to listen to my body. It was knowing it wasn't about what foods you could have or couldn't have, because you could have absolutely everything. But it was learning to be in tune to your body, understanding when you were hungry and when you weren't hungry, and not eating just because it was that time of day, or it's because you learned that in the morning you ate breakfast, between this time in the afternoon you ate lunch, and at dinner in the evening you ate dinner. But it was learning to understand, when am I hungry? So I learned to only eat when I was hungry, because my body would tell me when it needed nourishment. I started listening. What was my craving? What was I craving? And so if my body wanted vegetables, that's what I ate, because there was something in that vegetable, something in that particular thing that I needed at that time. If I was craving protein, it's because my body needed proteins at that time. And if I was thirsty, I really had waited too late because my body was craving the thirst beyond what I needed. And so I started learning to listen to my body. And that's what I'm talking about. Start listening to what you need, those things that come naturally to you. You start knowing those times of days that are right for you to do certain things. And another thing, another way your body talks to you is when you're eating the wrong foods or things that aren't good for you, for your body, not saying they're not good for you, or that you have to have in certain at certain times or in certain amounts, your body will start talking to you. And one of those ways is with gas. There are things like beans and broccoli and wheat. If you need gluten-free things, if you're gluten intolerant, or if you can't have milk, if you're lactose intolerant, your body will act in certain ways. You'll have pain. And so you ask yourself, if the pain that I'm getting ready to go through when I eat this broccoli, and I'm talking raw broccoli, sometimes it's just the raw broccoli. My husband is allergic to different foods. So is the pain that I'm going to go through worth the pleasure of eating this ice cream, of drinking this milk? And that's a conscious choice that we make. If we feel at this time, hey, I'm going to deal with this anyway, then we deal with it. But it's a conscious choice. And then being aware of like I said, my husband is allergic to different foods. So being aware of those allergies and saying, is this something I'm going to do? Is this pain that my body is getting ready to this reaction that I'm ready to have? Is this something that I want to go through? So take the time to listen to our bodies, to our thought patterns, to the stressors, and strategically observe our behavior to understand ourselves more. There are certain rhythms and flows that begin to reveal themselves as we learn these things about ourselves. And those are the things that we want to start paying attention to. That knowledge will help you become more productive, more purposeful, more in flow, and more present in your lives. Understanding our energy. When do you have the most energy? When is that flow for you? Is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? Is it late at night? When do you get your better flow? Are you a night person or a morning person? Are you an afternoon person? When do you light up and when do you crash? For me, crashing is in the middle of the day. It's like I'm full of energy, like I am right here before you today. And for some reason, I get my second flow around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just go full force to late in the evening. But I know this about myself. What are things that trigger your frustrations that you're easily frustrated by? And it's other people, for me, it's other people not thinking. And what things bring you joy? What things light you up? Ice cream. Okay, I'll let that one go. Remember, I'm a foodie. And what things bring you that joy? And when do you need to shut down? When do you need to remove yourself from others and totally shut down? Know this, and knowing your triggers will help you understand this. And I didn't get there understanding these overnight, and neither will you. And bringing these old habits didn't happen overnight. And sometimes I still fight that struggle of giving in to what it is I know and not falling back on the things that I've always done. But I also know that when I am there, they serve me best. and I am my best self. And I am getting better and better at recognizing when I am out of flow and when I am in flow, when I'm in harmony and out of harmony. And so that's what I want for you. And then finally, we're going to talk about stepping back and listening harder. We're going to take time to cultivate. You want to take time to actually cultivate that and allow the space for growth. And so I'm checking in with you right now. Have you learned a little bit of your ebb and flow? Have you learned the things that are natural for you? If you have, I want you to put in the comments, it's all natural or just natural. I want to know that you're starting to understand the things that are natural for you. And so there are several areas that stepping back and listening helps create better order in your life, and it creates balance in your life. And so one of those is asking yourself, am I hearing correctly? Ask yourself, are you hearing things because it's what you want to hear? Is it really you listening? Or are you listening for what is right? Or are you listening for your will? And so what I'm talking about there is, you ever notice when you're doing research or looking for something and you realize that you're looking for things to validate what you want to hear instead of things that are the truth and will let you know if you're on the right track. And so a lot of times when we do research, we're like, this is the point that I want to prove. So I'm only going to pull in the things that validate what I said. I'm only going to pull in the things that say or like I said, validate what I want to say. And so when you find that thing that doesn't quite jive with what you want to say, you say, well, I won't pull in this truth. But that's the thing. You're leaving out a valuable piece of information that will help you look at things from a full perspective and not just what you want to hear. So ask yourself, are you listening for just what you want to hear? Or are you listening to understand better? Are you listening to make the best choice, to make the better choice? And then ask yourself, are you pulling in others to help you make the best observation? Are you listening to others that you trust, that will tell you the truth, regardless of what you want to hear? Back to that, what I want to hear. You must be open to what they tell you, though. You must be willing to take that constructive criticism, but only from those we trust. You must be willing to chew the meat and spit out the bones, to actually look at things from a perspective of, is this the truth? And am I willing to take it in? And then you want to realize that real changes take time. You didn't get in this jumbled mess up of listening to everything all at once. It was over time of the things you learned and the things that people told you as a child and as you learn. And now it's time to reframe some of those things. My favorite word. So it takes time. And so you want to start seeing the small changes and asking yourself, how does this feel? as you pull on this new change, how does this coat feel? Is it sitting right with you? Does it feel right with you? You're going to take small steps forward. And then sometimes you're going to fall back a little bit. But all that means is you take a bigger step forward next time. You're going to get a greater awareness of the people in your life, and not only what's going on around you, but what's going on right in front of you and what you can let go behind you. You're going to get more energy because at the end of the day, you're going to realize that it's still your choice. And so you're going to get more energy. You're going to have less frustration. And then you're going to have more time because you're doing things what's right in the right way for you. You're going to have more time on the things that matter most to you because you're going to know what those things are. You're going to be in tune to those things. And so I hope today that you start listening to yourself more, that you become more aware of your surroundings, what's right inside of you, more in tune to your emotions, more aware of your physical body, that you start listening to your heart. And if you're wondering still what I'm talking about, learn to listen to your physical heart. Do you know that you can actually feel the blood coursing through your veins if you learn to listen? And if you want to join our community, the Monday Crew, for more tidbits and tips and techniques just like the ones that we talked about today, more in depth, join our Monday Crew on meet.michelleoneil.com. And you can go there to learn these tidbits and join the crew and master your Monday and your life. So as I said, go ahead on and go to meet.michelleoneil.com. Look, I am so thrilled that you were able to hang out with me today on our Monday morning chat. And this morning, I want you to remind yourself that you are amazing. I want you to hear that all day long in your spirit. You are amazing. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, follow, or like on whatever platform you find yourself on so that you don't miss a single episode in the future. And I want you to know what I'm up to. So make sure you visit meet.michelleoneil.com. And I have a free gift for you there that you want to get to help you on your journey to understanding your natural ebb and flow and dancing like nobody's watching, live and on point. Let me know how I can serve you better and support you further as you master every day like it's your Monday. Take care.